Hey folks, Crazy Glamour here again, and we're going to look at game number 1 in our 20 from 1985 series. My pick for the number 1 game of all of 1985 from the arcades. But first, we're going to look at the honorable mentions list. The games that just didn't quite make the cut, but are still definitely worth checking out. And we're going to start with a game called Alpha Mission. This is also known as Armored Scrum Object. This was created by SNK. It's a vertically scrolling shooter. It's decent. You collect power-ups via these little letters that you can uncover. And you can build up towards a more powerful ship that'll make it easier to beat bosses with. Pretty cool. And now we're going to look at Versus Battle City, and this was released for the Nintendo Versus cabinet. And this is a remaking of the, sort of a redoing of the Tank Battalion classic by Namco. Except you get power-ups in this, and you gotta protect your flag from enemies. You can get various power-ups like stop the enemies for a while. You can get stronger shots. There'll be enemies that take extra shots to destroy, run out of lives, or lose your flag and your game ends. Pretty cool. And now we're going to look at Taikon World Cup, and this was created by Taikon, later known as Tecmo. For its time, not a bad soccer game at all. Probably among the best soccer games at the time. Not too shabby. And now we're going to look at Samurai Nihonichi, or just Samurai, created by Kaneko and Taito. And it's like Kung Fu Master, but you have swords and you can die with one hit. Kind of a cool depiction of feudal Japan. You can get into sword fights with the enemies and they gush yellow blood. And then you stop off at a rice ball shop. And there's tigers, there's bomb-throwing ninjas, kind of cool. And now we're going to look at Return of the Invaders, and this was a Space Invaders sequel created by Taito and UPL, I believe. And there were various hidden tricks in this that could allow you to go to a challenge stage if you uncovered them. And there would be a single enemy that you tried to destroy, and if you did, you'd get some nice bonus points. There were meager power-ups in this game as well. Not a bad sequel. I remember seeing it once. So you get some nice points, and there are some tough enemies called deflectors, I think, that can deflect your shots back at you. Now we're going to look at Versus Hogan's Alley. And this was on the NES, but it was also in the arcades. I remember seeing this in a lot of places. It's a light gun game, and you try to react in time to shoot the enemy cardboard targets. And if you don't hit him in time, you will lose a life. There's also a target practice scene right here, a little bonus area. You can get extra points. And now we're going to look at Versus Duck Hunt, and this was one of the more popular titles on the NES. It also had an arcade release, of course. Shoot the ducks, and you can also shoot clay pigeons. There was also a special bonus round where you could try to shoot as many ducks as possible and try not to hit your dog, unless you got sick of him laughing at you. And you could hit him in this game. Now we're going to look at Versus Soccer, and this was also for the Nintendo Versus Arcade cabinet. Kind of fun game of soccer for its time. I was not big on soccer, like ever. But I liked NES Soccer, and I kind of liked Taikon World Cup. I played this for the NES for sure. Kind of fun. Nintendo made some nice sports titles. This one and hockey or ice hockey were pretty decent, I thought. And now we're going to look at Dig Dug 2, and this was a Japan-only sequel to Dig Dug, one of my all-time favorite game. And this is more of a top-down viewpoint, and you break away chunks of land on an island with your drill that you now have. And you still have your pump, and you can inflate enemies. Fun little game. And now we're going to look at Versus Wrecking Crew, and I loved Wrecking Crew for the NES. I liked it more than this, but this is still fun. and it's very similar. You just try to break away all the breakable objects on the screen to advance. And you are timed in this one. You are not timed in the NES one. The NES one had various cool hidden things like the golden hammer, which really made the game a lot easier. But yeah, here's you getting to the next level when you beat the stage in time. And now we're going to look at Terra Cresta, and this is part of the Moon Cresta series by Nichibutsu, or Nihon Busan. And you get some cool power-ups. This is a vertically scrolling shooter. There's various enemies you can destroy, and with the power-ups that you can get from certain things that poke up from the underground, you can really get some cool power-ups there. And now we're going to look at Time Gallon. This is a Laserdisc title by Taito. Or maybe it was Data East. But you're this girl that goes through various time periods, and it's a reaction game like Dragon's Lair. Just follow the directions to avoid getting killed, but there are some very funny deaths in this. It really cracks me up. You can sometimes stop time in certain situations and choose various ways to go. And you might have success or you might not. And you can clear a level and go to the next time period. There's funny deaths, like I said, if you do the wrong thing. This game made me laugh. I had it for Sega CD. And now we're going to look at Tiger Heli, created by Toaplan and Taito. It's a cool little vertically scrolling shooter in which you have a helicopter. There's a few hidden bonuses you can uncover, like shooting the roof of this house enough times to get 10,000 points. There's tanks that turn their turrets to try to shoot at you. You can get little helicopters to help you shoot down your enemies. And you can take a breather in between areas by sitting on a landing pad. And there's sometimes giant tanks that you need to destroy as well with a bunch of shots. Cool game. And now we're going to look at Road Blaster, and this is another Laserdisc title. This is by Data East. And this I love. It's so wacky. You drive your car on docks. You drive them through hotel rooms. Just through sewers. It's just crazy fun. And it's a reaction game like Time Gal or Dragon Slayer. Going through a hotel lobby, I love it. All the panicked pedestrians and civilians. And you also go through a fucking farm field. Crazy. You're battling these threshers, and you'll go into cows mooing. You go into a farmhouse, chickens squawking. And now we're going to look at Twinbee, created by Konami. This is part of a long series. And this introduced the bell power-up system. You can make some enemies release bells, and you can shoot them repeatedly. And you get weapon power-ups, or just collect them for points. Very cool game, and the bell power-up system was used in Parodius. Pretty cool little game. It had some sequels, and you can power up and get like a shield and three-way shot and stuff. And now we're going to look at Pinball Action. This is a cool video pinball game created by Taikon, later known as Tecmo. And there's various stages you can go to. Kind of cool little themes, all sorts of little bonuses, good sound effects. For 1985, this is a pretty cool video pinball game. There's a bowling motif there. Multiple little motifs. If you hit the ball in the right place, you can go to another play field. And sometimes there'll be like a slot machine you can start. Little cool extras, bonuses. I don't recall seeing this in the arcades. It is pretty cool, though. Darn it. And now we're going to look at Roadrunner, created by Atari Games. This was not seen very long in arcades, but it was a great idea. Really captured the feel of the Warner Brothers cartoon. There's Wile E. Coyote chasing you, and you try to eat the seeds, all the seeds. If you miss very many, then Wile E. Coyote will catch up to you and you'll lose a life. But cool idea, just the controls were so hard. You had to use a trackball. It was very, very tough. You could get Wile E. Coyote splattered by cars. Tries to chase after you on a rocket or a pogo stick or whatever. But now we're going to look at the #1 game, and it is Ghosts and Goblins, created by Capcom and also licensed to Taito in the US. There was also a Romstar cabinet, but Romstar had nothing to do with it, and they called it Ghost and Goblins. Weird. But you have a 4-way or 8-way joystick and a jump and a fire button. Very, very, very cool game for its time. Super impressive. Very hard, though. You control the knight known as Arthur, and he is not King Arthur from the Arthurian legend. He is just a knight known as Arthur, and he has to deal with all sorts of ghosts, goblins, and other assorted monsters. And he has a jump button and a fire button. And his default weapon that he starts with will be a lance. And this is the first stage that we see here in the attract mode, and there are zombies in a graveyard. There will be birds, there will be killer plants. His weapon can be changed if enemies drop a pot that they are carrying, and they will drop it once you kill them. And that pot may contain a new weapon, and there's a new weapon right there. But he died before he could pick it up, and it is a torch, and it sucks. Your default weapon is pretty good, the spear or lance. There is also an axe, very, very, very rare. There is a dagger, and there is a shield, and you will need the shield later on in the game. We'll get to that later on. We'll get started here. There are various point items, bonus items that you can collect. It's like various knights. There's a coin bag that you can pick up, or a money bag. There's a giant coin. Looks like a shield to me. There are, and there's a money bag. And this guy is one of the most annoying enemies in the whole game, and he is known as Red Aramer. And he is a demon, and he likes to avoid getting hit by your shots. Shoot. You have 2 hits that you can take. Well, actually, just one. The first hit knocks your armor off, and there are a few special hidden areas in the game, or special places where you can uncover replacement armor if you get your armor knocked off. If you get hit again, you die. And we saw one of the areas where you can get your armor back. And there's a knight carrying a pot, and he dropped the torch, which I don't want. Those knights there, you have to hit them from behind. They have a shield in front, those flying knights. And now we have these ghosts that throw spears. They like to circle around behind you. There is some sort of mathematical equation or something where you can get you can keep collecting those bonus items until you get the most lucrative one, which is a knight or a king, and that's 10,000 points. This boss here is super easy. Just inch forward until you hear him get hit by your lances, then back off and turn around and shoot a couple times as he lands from a jump, and you'll eventually beat him. And if you take too long, he can shoot at you, and you'll have to jump to avoid the shot. But just do what I did, and you'll beat him easily enough. And now here on the second stage, we started this ice tower. You have these little demons that pop out of some of the doors there, or holes. Now when you jump across here and jump again quick! That platform will fall. You will die if you fall into the water or an abyss. And this part is annoying here too, where these demons come out of the windows. You have to turn around and duck and waste a few. Turn around again and waste that guy. And then you can move forward to this area. And these ogres will take several hits to bring down. And if they see you on the same floor as you, they will run towards you. They can drop shots at you from above or from in front of you as they run. Whoops. You can also jump over their heads. And that might be a good strategy at times. You get an extra life at 20,000 points, and I think like every 80,000 points, or maybe it's 70,000 points after that. There are, I believe, 6 levels. Ah, crap. Yeah, I knew he was going to hit me from the ladder. Whoa! Boy, I got out of the way of that shot just in time. Now this stage, or this part of the stage, has moving platforms here. And it's tough because these red crows, or whatever they are, try to throw off your pattern of trying to jump on the platforms. Those money bags are only worth, I think, 500 points. So don't go like way out of your way to collect them. Like if you're gonna run into a monster that way, it's not worth it. The boss at the end here, which I'm almost to, is 2 of those giant monsters that we saw at the end of stage 1. Only inch forward until the first one jumps over you. Then deal with him. Do not deal with both at the same time, or you're in big trouble. There, now we can deal with the other one, and he likes to shoot, so get ready to jump. But they should be really no problem. The next stage is a real pain in the butt. Not right away, but partway through. Each stage, I think, has one save point or checkpoint. When you die, you'll return to that spot. These towers can only be hurt when they're flashing colors. And now I've got another weapon. This is the Dagger. Ah, crap. These guys can shoot high or low. Yikes. Now, this part is a real pain in the butt because we see multiple red Aramers. Ugh! Yeah, it's a weird name. I don't know why they're called that, but they're called the Red Aramers. The Red Aramer had his own game called Gargoyle's Quest for the Game Boy. I think he had like a Super Nintendo follow-up too. When dealing with the Red Aramer, I guess it's often a good idea to like, that was stupid, why'd I do that? To jump away from him and turn around and fire in midair. And if he like dives at you at an angle, keep moving forward. He should miss you, I would think. And if you keep doing that, keep letting him dive at you and making him miss, I think eventually he'll land on the ground and you'll be able to kill him easier. And we just saw me unveil another armor. You can unveil armors to replenish a hit. Yeah, I hate that red Aramer. There, I killed him. And there's another one below me. You don't die from dropping a long ways. And there was another armor. And there I uncovered the Yashichi. The Capcom Yashichi makes an appearance. It's 10,000 points. Now this boss, and note that you hear a tune that indicates the boss is coming. This boss is another dragon float. Alright, there's multiple dragon float bosses. And that was the first, sorry. You just have to hit his head enough times. You don't have to destroy his whole body. And now this part has these platforms. And this is very daunting at first. The platforms look like they're trying to knock you off a ledge. As long as you land on this, as long as you land on that rocky floor, you're safe. Otherwise, you can fall into an abyss. Sometimes you can kind of jump through the platforms from below, and sometimes it doesn't work, and you get knocked backwards. Nah. But after this, once you get past these platforms here, wasn't ready to jump yet, I guess. Then there will be a fire bridge. And there's another red Aramer. God, I don't know why they're called red Aramer. It's a weird name. But yeah, jumping away and turning around and shooting backwards as you jump away can be useful. It takes about 4 hits, I think. And then there's these flames that can rise up. And we have those monsters from the ice tower again. Sometimes they can shoot at you. Sometimes they can't. And that one's carrying a pot. And it might be a bonus item, or it might be the shield. There will eventually be a weapon that is a shield, and you will need it to beat the game. The other items that you can collect, there's like a giant coin. There's a money bag. It's 500 points. There's a way to collect the items in a special sequence that can culminate in a bonus item that's 10,000 points, and it's a king icon. Now here's a trick. Once you hear that boss music on this stage, back all the way to the left as far as you can, and you'll have beaten him. And by the way, it was another dragon float boss. Sometimes when you collect the key at the end, if you throw your weapon multiple times just before you land on the key, you might make your weapon shot appear on the next stage right away. Like you'll see daggers flying. They won't hurt you, but they might take out some enemies for you. Kind of interesting little trick. I didn't really try to make it work here. But that there was a giant coin. I always thought it was a shield. Now those skulls that I'm killing, if you get too close, they can turn into skeletons and start jumping around and being a real nuisance. So take out the skulls. And another red Aramer. Wonderful. I think he's also known as like Red Devil. On this stage you can jump up to the platforms from below. Yeah, I've always hated this guy. I don't know what the hell Aramer is supposed to mean, but that guy is one of the classic pain-in-the-ass Capcom characters. He is really tough to learn how to deal with, and I kind of lost my patience with him sometimes. I think I had 1 or 2 save states in this. I was never able to quite get this far, but I think I used one save state on the 3rd stage, and one on this stage. I've definitely never been able to beat this stage. We're close to the end of the game. You see a lot of recycled enemies on a number of stages. God damn it. Bats. Crap. The ice tower monsters. I think on the next stage you see a bunch of recycled bosses. Like the dragon float and the giant white monsters. I think they're called unicorns, even though they're not unicorns per se. But yeah, shoot the skull before it can turn into a jumping skeleton, because then it starts to get to be a real pain in the ass. Ah, damn it! There's a special tune that plays when you lose your last life. Get away, Red Aramer. This game is notorious for making it to the end and beating the final boss and then being told you have to start all the levels over. Really, really sucks. A lot of gamers back in the day that saw that were like, no frickin' way. But yeah. Shoot, he almost killed me. Yikes. Ah, screw it. I kind of gave up there. Yeah, the music really blew me away. It was really awesome. It kind of scary music. And again, you have 2 hits in the game, and once you get your armor knocked off, if you're hit again, you die. Now, there was something that we didn't see. Those tombstones you can shoot multiple times in the first stage, and if you do, you might make a magician appear, and he can turn you into a frog, and you're basically helpless. I mean, you'll get hit. Sorry, the music isn't as loud this time around, but I'm going to just basically show you where I left off, and we'll look at least snippets of the game from that point on. And this is the final boss of the stage that I left off of. I put on invincibility at this point. I was just like, I want to beat this damn game for you people. But this guy just loves to fly all around to avoid getting hit, maybe even more so than the Red Aramer. And then once you beat this stage, this is the last stage, and this has all those recycled bosses on it. I remember first seeing this at a 7-Eleven, and here's 2 of those. Like I said, I think they call them unicorns, but they're more like cyclopses. And yeah, those money bags are only worth 500 points. And there's a dragon float up there. Yeah, you do not have to shoot his body. When you face him the first time, there will be a little ledge that you can stand behind for a few passes of the dragon float and not get killed. But then you'll have to start moving because he'll be able to hit you. Yeah, a lot of gamers just could not figure out that stupid Red Aramer, and sometimes I lost patience with him in this game. But a good idea is to jump away from him and turn around and shoot at him in midair as you're jumping forwards. And if he dives at you at an angle, keep moving forward. Don't pause, because he will hit you, or don't move away, he'll hit you. And once you have him going back and forth over you like a couple times, now we have 2 of these demons here, then he might land on the ground and make it easier for you to hit him. Otherwise, he's really dodging your shots a lot. And oftentimes, now here is where they tell you have to start back on the previous level because you needed to collect this shield weapon. And there will be a shield weapon, and you have to be able to collect it from, I think, one of the pots that the enemies sometimes drop. But I am also showing off the axe, which is very rare. Even though it shows the shield icon at the bottom, I put in a cheat to give me the axe. And yeah, the axe is very, very rare in this game, and it's not great. In fact, I think the lance is one of the best weapons. And there's the torch. I put in a cheat to use that, and it is crappy. But here I've got the shield weapon. And this will allow me to face, is it Lucifer or Beelzebub? I think it's Lucifer. Or maybe it is Satan. I can't remember for sure, but he will be behind this door coming up here. And once I beat him, then I have to start the game all the way over. And he takes a whole lot of shots, and you have to hit, I think, the face underneath his head. And it's very hard to hit, or at least that's been my experience. And he'll shoot at you on occasion from both his his head on top, and from the mouth, I think, yeah. But you have to be able to hit the head on his body, and I scooted forward just so I can finish him off. But your girlfriend, the princess, and her name is Prin, is waiting there. But this room is an illusion, and it is a trap devised by Satan. Yeah, the final boss is Satan. And so you have to play the whole game over. Damn it, that sucks. But the enemies get faster. Now you have to... I'm just going to scoot forward to me beating him again the second time. But this time you will get the good end. But boy, that's a lot of playing through that you have to do, and it's... A lot of gamers were just like, are you kidding me? But it's still such a legendary game. It's got such great music, such great graphics for its time, and it had so many sequels and spin-offs. Definitely the best game of 1985 in my opinion. Yeah, sorry that the music isn't as is at a little lower volume than some of the earlier gameplay that I had, I think. But that is Ghosts and Goblins. And yeah, the second time through, the enemies get much faster. But you get to keep your shield weapon. Yeah, what a tough game. And here's me unleashing the magician. If you shoot the tombstone enough times, it turns you into a frog. If you had the armor on before you were a frog, you will be knocked out of your armor if an enemy hits you when you're a frog. But that was Ghosts and Goblins, game number 1 in our 20 from 1985 series. I thank you for watching. It's an all-time classic by Capcom. Well, I hope you will join me sometime soon for my 20 from 1986 series coming up. That'll be all sorts of fun. Well, I will see you then, folks. Y'all have a happy holidays, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.